Hello, Karu. It is, well, let's just say it's Wednesday, the 25th of September, even though I'm doing this late into the evening of the previous day. This is a video that's going to be footage of Palouse Falls, and you will hear why I was at Palouse Falls as the video progresses. But I wanted to start out by kind of telling you what my last week has been like here. As I think you already knew, Sarah was at her Novelist Inc. conference in Florida, where she was gone for 6 days, basically, Tuesday through Sunday, and left me alone. So I was trying to keep myself busy so I didn't miss her, and I was going to tell you about what I did over those few days. By the way, the conference went really well. Sarah had a great time. It was useful. She was appreciated for her work she did on the conference, and she also benefited, as she seems to. She's been going to this conference for 11 years, from the relationships that she has generated at that conference. That didn't sound too stilted. I don't know what to tell you. So you asked me previously about work on Barth, the camper van, and what needs to be done. And I had a list of things to be done. And I am going to run through them real quickly here because you complained about the fact that I hadn't done so systematically. So to begin with, we were going to get the windshield replaced. But after much discussion and figuring out it was going to cost us $100, we decided we would wait on that item. There's a couple dings in it, but they've been there for a while. So we're just I took that off the list. The second thing is that the LP is not working. The liquid propane for the heater and the stove isn't working. And the solenoid for the switch to turn it on and off has failed. I still haven't fixed that. Actually, just yesterday I got the part in the mail. I finally got it ordered, and I'm going to have to get underneath the van and disassemble that and replace it. So that's still on the list of things to do. Number 3 was rotate the tires. I got the tires rotated. Actually, I took the tires in to have them rotated, and they looked at it and they came out and they said, listen, these tires have a 40,000 mile warranty. You've had them for 32,000 miles. They're really close to being completely gone. We will give you 20% off the value. We'll return 20% of what you paid for these tires and put it towards new tires if you want to get them. So I got new tires at a $50,000 or 50,000 mile warranty, and I also and they were on sale, so I got a good deal on them. So that's taken care of. However, they did say that they were concerned about the brakes, and I waited on that to have Brad take a look at those with me, and I think I'm going to take him back and have the brakes replaced. It does have 153,000 miles on those brakes, so it's not that surprising. Anyway, so it was just rotating the tires, but now I have new tires. I'm going to have new brakes soon. So number 4 on the list was fix the hole in the wall under the bed. So at some point we were transporting something in the van, and it tipped over and it cracked the paneling. And I actually have worked on that a little bit, and I basically created this crack and an unevenness because it pushed part of the paneling in. So I still need to pull that out. I've got a piece of vinyl contact paper, which I'm going to put over it after I fix it to kind of hide the damage. I'm covering that whole area actually, but I still need to pull that back out. So I haven't finished that. So number 5 is that the horn doesn't work on the van, and I haven't replaced that, but I need a new horn assembly, and it hasn't worked for years. Actually, I took it into the dealership at one point and asked them to replace the horn, and they came back and told me what it would cost to replace the horn and charged me for the diagnosis. So I was pissed off, so I never did that. But I'm going to try to get back to that. The problem is I have to jack up the vehicle, take the front wheel off, take off some of the the under wheel protection, and in order to get to the horn assembly. So I will get to that eventually. So number 6 was the drawer and cupboard latches, which I did complete. Number 7 was the cubby liner over the dinette, which I did fix. I talked about in the previous video. Number 8 was cleaning up the rear storage space, which I did that. I put trim around it. Number 9 is the under sink door, and basically I just need to put some Gorilla Tape. I cut a hole in that door to create more airflow in there so that it doesn't freeze under the sink in cold weather. But I need to put some Gorilla Tape around this screen that I have stapled on there so that the sharp edges don't catch on things. I haven't gotten around to that yet. Number 10, which was one of the license plate lights were out, and I replaced both of them. And number 11, I had purchased at some point in the past a retractable laundry line, which I've mounted now in the bathroom, and that's been on my list of things to do for some time. So that's all the work to be done on the van. So what I have left from all that is replacing the LP solenoid, fixing the hole under the bed, replacing the horn, Gorilla Tape on the undersink door, and then new brakes, which is a new thing. So that was what we were talking about with the van. Probably more information than you wanted to know, but I don't care. So I did a couple things on the van. I basically was here in Pendleton for Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I ended up hanging out with some friends at various times, going to dinner with them. And then on Friday, I drove up to Colfax to spend time with Linda and Brad and Mom and Dad. Had a really good time with them. It was nice. I spent extensive time with Mom and Dad. And actually, Tom and Lynn also came over. I spent a couple hours with them. And it looks like they're planning on coming and visiting us in Wales next spring. So that was fun. And Brad and I, Brad had COVID, but after a couple of days he recovered, or was recovered enough to go on some hikes. So actually I helped him with some work, and then we went on to Kamiak Butte together. So that was a good time. So after spending, basically 2.5 days up there with them, 2 nights, 2 pretty much full days, I headed back down towards the Pasco airport to pick up my wife at 8 o'clock on Sunday evening. And I noted that Palouse Falls was not too far off the path to get there. And so I decided to go spend some time at Palouse Falls. And that's what you've been watching here. Is I actually brought the drone, and haven't cut this footage very extensively. I've cut it a little bit to get rid of the worst of the weirdness, but I figured there were worse background images to have for my long soliloquy here than the drone footage. And I guess there's a couple non-drone shots in here from Palouse Falls. And it was really fun flying the drone around. I was a little nervous. I hate bothering people. So I made sure I got off by myself when I was flying the drone the whole time. But yeah, it's just such an amazing spot if you hadn't noticed. So anyway, I spent about 2 hours there, and then headed back down to Pasco. As I said, Sarah's flight was coming in at 8 o'clock, so I had about an hour and a half down there in Pasco, and actually worked on editing the photographs I took while at the falls while I was waiting for Sarah. And then I went to pick her up, and it was interesting because I had the windows rolled down in the van as I was pulling into the baggage claim area there to pick her up, and I started hearing a thunking, and so I got out and checked, and the driver's side rear tire, all of the bolts were loose on it. Oh, actually, yeah, it's bolts, I guess. It's not nuts on these. And I had Brad take it off to check the rear brakes because I wanted to get his second opinion after what the tires told me. And apparently we didn't get it back on snug. And this is a problem with this van. I've had it happen 3 different times when people messed with the tires. So luckily I have a torque wrench in the van, and I was able to tighten those down. So all's well that ends well. But they were pretty loose, like to the point that when I was tightening them down, I was like, wow, this could have been really bad. This tire could have actually come off. So, but we caught it. So, did I already say all's well that ends well? If I haven't, I'm saying it now. So, we're back in Pendleton. We're getting ready to head to Wales. We'll be going a little more than a week. And we've got people lined up to watch our house here in Pendleton. Some folks, neighbors are going to be staying here part of the time. And while we're in Wales, we're going to have people visiting, which is nice. Brad and Jess are going to come. And then Craig Daniels and his family are going to come. And also some of our friends we met in Mexico are going to come as well. So I'm looking forward to that. And actually, Sarah and I are getting ready to make a list of people we need to see while we're there and trying to schedule it because the time goes fast. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Hope you have a good one. Bye-bye.